Welcome to Biff's Mystery Theater. I have many tales to tell you. Ghost stories, murder stories, and tales that will make your bones chill. Join me, won't you? For Theater of the Mind, where you always have the best seat in the house. Now close your eyes and turn off the lights.
And now Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as the man called X, international troubleshooter who flies the ocean at the drop of a hat, who charms the ladies, but is death on crooks. Herbert Marshall as the man called X.
You're very quiet tonight, Dr. Dawson. If you will forgive my playing with words, is it this Pacific influence?
The ocean of oceans, Professor. And now we cross the Tropic of Capricorn.
Capricorn is the goat, which nibbles at the stars.
Aye, and from here on the world turns upside down. Winter is summer and summer winter. It's a little like standing on one's head. But there's still the moon in its proper course.
The moon is scowling, Dr. Dawson. Doesn't like that cloud. And you seem depressed.
Professor, I must ask you a question.
Yes?
You were invited on this expedition to the Antarctic for the same reason we all were. Field research.
An exciting project, isn't it?
I have reason to believe that it's not research that interests you, but conquest.
The clouds don't like the moon's face, Professor. The moon is blotted out. It shall be as dark for you.
Oh, no, you wouldn't.
Well, man overboard. Man overboard!
Oh, Chief.
Well, stranger, Ken Thurston. Nice to see you back again, Mr. X.
Glad to be back, Chief. Sorry I can't stay longer.
Well, I see you haven't changed any.
How quickly can you get me on a plane for Santiago, Chile?
On the first one out, if it's important enough.
Chief, I've developed a compelling interest in science.
Oh, yeah?
In fact, I'd like to confirm a theory with those distinguished gentlemen aboard the SS Archimedes.
Oh, that expedition. Since when have you become interested in meteorology?
Since Dr. Stuart Dawson of the University of Edinburgh was, lost at sea.
I read that report. Dawson was a geologist, wasn't he?
He was also one of the world's leading authorities on uranium deposits.
Uh-oh.
That make it important enough?
Important? At the moment, I can't think of anything more important to us. Ellis, get passage in the first plane out for South America for Ken Thurston. Where are you going to pick him up, Ken?
The Archimedes has put in at Valparaiso to take on supplies. They have at least a couple of weeks in Chile.
Well, remember, Ken, one of the largest foundations in this country has subsidized that expedition. It's on the level. They're just a bunch of stargazers checking up on a new world in Antarctica.
A new world with the power to blow up the old one.
Flight number 38 for Lima, now leaving from ramp 6. Flight number 12, now arriving Santiago from Buenos Aires on ramp 3. Passengers.
Postcard, get your postcards here. Big jumbo folder of 12 colored photographs of moonlight and the Andes. Hey, amigo, only 2 pesos. Postcards pretty. Hey, Mr. Thurston. Oh, you, Mr. Thurston.
Pegon Zellschmidt.
Hello, Mr. Thurston.
Someday I must go to the equator, Pegon, where there is no shadow. Maybe you won't be there.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Thurston. I knew you would be pleased to see me.
Well, that's one interpretation of what I was just saying.
Oh, thank you. Is it worth any money?
All right, Pegon, come on. We can talk about money, but I find a hotel.
Oh, that has been all arranged. And I have saved you what you owe me in commissions by sleeping in your room until you arrive.
You think of everything. Come on.
Mr. X, while waiting for your plane, I saw a rainbow and a pot of gold at the end of it.
I don't see any rainbow, Pegon. And we're only at the beginning.
You see, Mr. X, it's as plain as mud. Those scientific professors are really looking for gold.
Of course, they've taken you into their confidence, Pegon.
Well, the waterfront at Valparaiso is full of gossips. And some friends of mine, riffraff, but strictly high class, are working on their ship.
So you've taken advantage of your international subterranean connections.
Well, Mr. Thurston...
Okay, what have you really found out, Pegon?
Well, I wanted to speak to you about that, Mr. X. You see, I followed the professors from the harbor to their hotel in Santiago. But when I presented my credentials, the door was slammed in my foot.
Unbelievers.
Oh, don't worry. I have other plans. You see, a fancy reception for them is being given tomorrow night by a rich old woman, the Senora Margarita Avila.
Avila? Well, that must be the wife of Professor Avila.
Someone I should know?
A lot of money.
Oh, go on.
Very successful scientist.
Yes, he interests me.
Too late, Pegon. He died 5 years ago.
Oh, but the old lady still has the money. Now there is something I could work on.
Pegon, would you like to do me a favor?
Mr. X, your slightest command is my wish.
Good. Then, let me work on it.
Si, senor?
Excuse me, is Senora Avila at home?
Yes, she is.
My name's Ken Thurston. May I speak to her?
Come in, please.
Thank you. Well?
Well?
Will she be coming down soon?
That is impossible, Mr. Thurston.
Isn't she at home?
Of course she is at home.
But then... Oh, no. No, it can't be that good.
I beg your pardon, senor.
You're not the senora.
But why not?
You're so young and so beautiful.
Thank you. Is that so shocking?
No. No, it's much easier to ask you a favor.
Oh?
You're entertaining the distinguished members of the Archimedes expedition tomorrow evening?
Yes.
I'd like to meet them. You see, I'm a kind of a footloose correspondent.
Correspondent?
I don't like the conventional interviews. So...
if you attended my reception as a guest, you could get your information informally.
Yes, that's it, yes.
Well, can you think of any reason why I should refuse to cooperate with you?
After all, I am a stranger.
A stranger bearing compliments. I shall be pleased if you will join us tomorrow evening, Mr. Thurston. On one condition.
On any...
You must no longer regard yourself as a stranger.
Of course, Mr. Thurston, the vast majority of laymen think of the Antarctic as a wasteland, no consequence whatever.
But, Dr. Florio, haven't a lot of people read of Admiral Byrd's discovery?
Oh, yes, indeed, but to them it's merely an adventure story. They have no idea of the vast resources of this immense continent.
I've heard rumors about gold.
Mr. Thurston, I'm not speaking of material wealth, though of course there must be an abundance of that.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So I'm referring to the fuller knowledge of the nature of our two poles.
I understand that clearly.
Sir, with the controls that we'll eventually establish, we shall at last have nature on our side.
A very pleasant
And
prospect, Dr. Florio.
Oh.
Even though it would put us all out of business.
Professor Sador, you met this young fellow Thurston?
How do you do, Mr. Thurston? Senora Avila has mentioned you.
Yes, I've just been explaining to Thurston here about the real implications of our expedition.
Implications, Dr. Florio? I thought everything was out in the open. We haven't any secrets. Or have we?
Well, whatever secrets we have, Professor, represent the failures in our search for truth. Now, Thurston, in your
Mr. Thurston,
articles...
if Dr. Florio can spare you for a few moments, our hostess would like to speak to you.
Oh, yes, of course. But I will see you later, Thurston.
Yes, of course.
Thurston, how can such a windbag have room left for an idea in his head?
He knows his physics, though, doesn't he?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's the trouble. He knows so much in his field that he hasn't the slightest notion of what goes on outside.
Judging from his eloquence, he's trying awfully hard to make contact.
Well, when you get tired of Florio, try Gallagher.
Uh-huh.
He never says a word. Very relaxing on a voyage.
Your voyage didn't have a very auspicious beginning, did it, Professor Sador?
You mean Dr. Dawson's death?
Uh-huh.
You know, I wonder why he ever sailed with us.
Well, didn't the Foundation select him?
Yes, of course, but Dawson didn't have to get on the Archimedes to take that way out.
Suicide?
Thurston, he was at the end of his rope. Tried to run away from a domestic situation and found out he couldn't run away from himself.
Scientists can be fallible, too.
Very. Well, here we are. Senora Avila.
Oh, thank you, Senor. Mr. Thurston, there is someone here asking for you, Professor Zellschmidt.
Zellschmidt?
Yes, he calls himself a Lepidopteris pluribus.
Oh, that Zellschmidt.
Looking for butterflies in Santiago?
Oh, you never know about a Zellschmidt. He can look for anything, anywhere.
Well, since you know him, then it's all right.
You've let him in?
Oh, he left me no choice. Shall we find him?
Senora, if Professor Sador will excuse us, I'd much rather dance. Senora Avila.
Yes, Mr. Thurston.
At least while we're dancing, may I call you Margarita?
Have I refused any of your requests so far, Ken?
I'm indebted to you.
Have you found what you were looking for?
Much more than I was looking for.
Oh? Ken, would you mind? It's rather warm, and my garden is lovely by moonlight.
I'd love to see it.
I meant you to. I noticed that Dr. Florio was monopolizing your time. But after all, he is the head of the expedition.
He expressed his opinions very freely to me.
Yes, I know what you mean. Did you find Professor Sador interesting?
Margarita, I have a confession to make.
Oh?
My interest is no longer journalistic.
Oh, are you disappointed in your material?
Oh, no. I'm just beginning to discover its possibilities.
Then do me a favor, Ken. Promise me that you will let me read your articles when they are finished.
Who's talking about articles?
Oh, then we have been talking about two different things.
I was talking about you.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go on.
I've heard so many long words tonight, I'm beginning to appreciate understatement.
Understatement?
Perhaps I should demonstrate. You see, I could try to be grandiloquent, but the way I feel is more like this.
Oh, Ken. Why did you kiss me?
I could say that it was in the interest of science, Margarita, but the simpler reason is I just wanted to.
Margarita.
See?
Your party was a great success.
Thank you, Sador.
And the American, Mr. Thurston, was very attentive, wasn't he?
Does that matter?
You were very responsive.
Sador, you're jealous.
Why did you invite him?
You ask me to?
Margarita, have you gone out of your mind?
No, but I may have lost a little of my heart.
You will stop this nonsense, my dear, when I tell you who Mr. Thurston really is.
Oh, is that all that's bothering you?
What?
Darling, I know all about Mr. Thurston. He is handsome, he's gallant, he's intelligent. And here's the man called X. Good night.
Now to return to Frigidaire's Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall. Mr. X has gone to Santiago, Chile, to find out why Dr. Stuart Dawson, a famous scientist, disappeared at sea while on the Archimedes expedition. Mr. X has met various members of the expedition at the home of beautiful Margarita Avila, but he still has no evidence of foul play. On the other hand, Margarita and her friend, Professor Sador, have learned that he is the Man Called X. Ken has returned home from Margarita's reception, and at the moment is entering his hotel room.
What took you so long, Mr. Thurston?
Oh, here you are, Professor Zellschmidt. I wondered where you'd slipped off to. Catch any butterflies?
A golden butterfly, Mr. X.
Huh?
While you were pursuing the beautiful lady, which I saw out of the side of my eyes, I was needling the very top men of the expedition.
Dr. Florio?
In person. And he revealed to me the whole plot.
No.
Yeah.
What plot?
Dr. Flory said it was a golden opportunity. Doesn't that tell you something?
Yes, it tells me your interest in the project. I hate to disabuse your mind, but this expedition isn't a gold mine. Nor am I. Good night.
You don't know what you're doing, Mr. Thurston. Now, if you're worrying about your fees...
Pegon! What? Pegon, the transom, duck!
What was that? Mr. X.
That, Pegon, was our golden opportunity. Gone.
It is no longer as fashionable to promenade in Santiago as it used to be. But, Ken, I did want you to see Park Forest Hall.
Lovely, Margarita. Practically in the center of the city, but you feel as though you were miles away.
Isn't that what parks are for? To get away?
Margarita, your reception for the scientists, are you really interested, or was it your devotion to the memory of your husband?
Both, Ken. That was why I married my husband. Oh, not for science alone. You see, a woman is denied the adventurous life. She must live vicariously by keeping in contact with people who find adventure.
Adventure in laboratories?
Laboratories can lead to expeditions. Oh, why were you not honest with me, Mr. X?
Oh? Where did that come from?
Your butterfly professor offers all kinds of bargains.
You think Pegon was a publicity agent of mine?
If you will be frank with me now, maybe I can help you. Just what are you looking for?
A reason for murder, and probably something even more important.
Murder?
Why would a man, worrying about family difficulties, commit suicide somewhere in the Pacific Ocean when he had no family?
You are speaking of poor Dr. Dawson.
Did you know?
No, but I cannot believe it. This learned gentleman on the Archimedes, why would they want to get rid of him?
That, Margarita, is what is even more important. Oh, hello, Professor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thurston.
Come in.
I'd like to, but I have a lot of details to attend to in connection with the expedition.
But you wanted to see me?
That is one of the more important details.
Oh.
I have talked this over with my colleagues, Mr. Thurston, and we all feel that we should have with us, shall we say, a scribe to keep a chronicle of our voyage.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like that?
Well, who could refuse such a tempting offer? It's a golden opportunity.
And you'll come?
Yes.
Good. But we sail in the morning. Can you be ready by then?
Ready now.
Splendid. We'll all be very happy to have you with us. And now, goodbye, Mr. Thurston.
Goodbye, Professor.
Mr. Thurston, you didn't even mention me. Well, you're going off to the South Pole. What am I supposed to do?
Pegon, you try the North Pole. Evening, Dr. Florio.
Oh, hello, Thurston. You still up?
Nice out on deck tonight.
A bit cold. Have you seen Dr. Gillihu?
He went inside with Professor Capstaff. Oh, I should think about 15 minutes ago.
Well, I think I'll turn in, too. By the way, Thurston, glad to have you with us. Any assistance I can give you to authenticate your notations is call on me.
Thanks, Doctor.
Good night.
Good night.
Mr. Thurston.
So you didn't take my advice, Pegon? Stowaway?
I should have thought of that. Here I'm working as a deckhand.
You won't make as much money that way as you did by telling Senora Avila that I'm the man called X.
Oh, Mr. Thurston, how can you say such things?
How much did you get for it?
Oh, a paltry little... What am I saying? I haven't even confessed.
You don't have to, Pegon. Skip it. Oh, maybe it's just as well, because now you can do something for me at my price. Oh, congratulations, Margarita.
Oh, it's you, Ken. I was going to surprise you at the captain's table in the morning.
So now it's no more vicarious living for you. It's real adventure, is that it?
Why not? Why should I stay at home and dream?
This trip may not be a picnic, Margarita.
I know. But after all, I suggested you to Fedor. I got you into this, Ken.
Oh?
So I want to share it with you. Don't you think adventure and romance should go together?
Well, it's much more pleasant that way. It'll make a long voyage shorter.
Much shorter. Oh, do you mind if I go in now? I'm not used to the sea air.
I'll take you to your cabin.
Oh, don't bother. Just kiss me good night, Ken.
Margarita.
Oh, now I shall sleep well. Good night, darling.
Good night.
Still up, Thurston?
Well, Fedor.
Mind if I join you?
Not a bit.
Have you begun the log of our voyage yet?
I don't know quite how to start.
Why not begin with our leaving Valparaiso?
That would be the easy way. But I have a feeling the story really begins with Dr. Dawson's death.
That still bothers you, doesn't it, Thurston?
Doesn't it bother you?
What do you mean by that?
Dr. Dawson must have bothered you. He knew so much about uranium.
So?
Almost as much as you do, Professor Sador. Very foolish of you to mention Dawson's family to me, since he didn't have any.
Yes, very foolish. And it was very foolish of you, Mr. X, to accept my invitation. Don't move.
Huh? You didn't shoot Dawson. I didn't think that was your method.
It isn't.
This is...
Goodbye, Mr. X.
You have to do it that way, Fedor.
You didn't offer any other suggestions, my dear Margarita?
No. No.
I saw that farewell scene of yours. Very touching.
Well, it's done. There is only one thing, Fedor. It was too easy.
Hold on to the rope, Mr. Thurston. You're so heavy to pull up. Like pulling up a whale. There. Oh. Hold me, Mr. Thurston. I think I'm going to faint.
Pegon, remember this moment. It'll never happen again. You've chiseled, you've double-crossed me. You've lied to me, but right now, you're a great man. You saved my life.
Oh, I only did what you told me to, Mr. X. It wasn't anything. But you might tell me why you let somebody throw you overboard just so I could save you.
Later, Pegon. Right now, I'd like some sleep. I have an appointment at the captain's table for breakfast tomorrow.
Incidentally, where's Mr. Thurston this morning?
I haven't seen him, Dr. Florio. Perhaps he hasn't got his sea legs yet.
Nonsense, Sador. I saw him walking the deck last night. Wasn't having any trouble then.
I saw him too. He seemed to be enjoying himself.
Well, if he's sleeping, let him sleep. Now, what was I saying anyway, Gallaher?
Good morning, Margarita. Gentlemen.
What?
Who was talking about me?
Ken!
Morning.
Aren't you going to wish me good morning, Professor Sador? After all, as you reminded me last night, you invited me on this voyage.
Fine.
Why?
What? What's happened here?
Dr. Florio and gentlemen, forgive me for being late for breakfast, but you see, I overslept. I had a swim last night.
Swim? Swim? What's the name
It
of...
wasn't my idea, Dr. Florio. Professor Sador's.
Sador?
If Dr. Dawson were here, I'm sure he, too, could tell you about going for a long swim in the Pacific. A swim with no end for him. You can put away that gun, Sador. You couldn't shoot anybody here. Besides, that would be mutiny. Ship's crews will advise as well as your authority at Valparaiso.
Well, this doesn't sound like a laughing matter to me, Senor Avila.
Oh, for me, I am amused. Because for once, I spoke the truth. Remember, Fedor, I said it was too easy. Well, Ken, you have won.
No, Margarita. You and Sador lost. Gentlemen, I think it would be best for the good name of the profession you serve that this particular incident of your expedition be not included in our chronicle. Professor Sador and his friend, who finds it so amusing, were planning to use you for their own purposes. They were playing high stakes, almost the highest. Uranium. But as you see, they had too many cards stacked against them. Coffee. Well, perhaps a good cup of coffee will brighten this day on the cruise of the SS Archimedes.
Our star, Herbert Marshall, will return in just a moment to tell you about next week's exploit of a man called X. The Man Called X is presented each week with the best wishes of your Frigidaire dealer, who invites you to come in and learn about the famous line of Frigidaire electric refrigerators, electric ranges, electric water heaters, home freezers, and a wide variety of refrigerating and air conditioning equipment. And now, Frigidaire star, Herbert Marshall.
Next week, a chase to Central America after a notorious racketeer who talks best for the 38 automatic. And with him is his all-too-beautiful daughter. I promise you plenty of thrills and suspense. As usual, Leon Velasco will be with us as Pegon Zellschmidt. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the Man Called X. Good night.
Frigidaire's Man Called X for tonight was written by Milton Merlin. The music is composed and conducted by Johnny Green, and the entire production is under the direction of Jack Johnstone. And so until next week, same time, same station, this is Wendell Niles speaking for Frigidaire, made only by General Motors. Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as the Man Called X. Wherever there is mystery, intrigue, romance, in all the strange and dangerous places of the world, there you will find the Man Called X. And now Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as Ken Thurston, the Man Called X. To most people, a restful massage would mean only calm and relaxation. But for the Man Called X, it's only the calm before the storm. Listen.
Oh, I'll take a little easier there, will you, Olaf?
Yes, sir, Mr. Thurston. Nothing like a Turkish bath and a good rub down to get you on your feet again.
Oh.
This will make you feel like $1 million.
Well, just make me moderately wealthy, will you?
Yes, sir. You must have had yourself a night.
Oh.
I know some seeing-eyed dogs that would have turned you down.
Hey, is there a Mr. Ken Thurston in here?
Yeah, over here. That is right, isn't it?
It's the name you gave us.
I just wanted to know in case a bet came up. Now let me rest a bit now.
Yes, sir.
Can't see a thing through all this steam. Where are you? Oh,
Chief.
well, Ken, I've been looking all over town for you.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing myself last night, yeah.
Too many martinis.
I think the onions in them gave me indigestion.
Well, look, there's work to do. There's trouble in the Middle East.
When isn't there trouble in the Middle East?
Well, this concerns us. You know the Acme refineries?
Not personally, but I've run out of some of their gas.
Well, they've been having serious trouble the last 2 weeks. All of it in the same fields, over in the Middle East, near Larna Volak.
What kind of trouble?
Big explosions. No explanation, no reason. They all take place in the main tanks in the heart of the refineries.
Why don't they put on more guards?
Well, they threw a complete ring around the refineries. And they've had 3 bad fires since. They're getting a little frantic.
Don't their dividends make them happy? How do they concern us?
Well, a lot of American citizens have been killed in those explosions.
Oh.
Now, Washington sent an agent over there just last week.
What did he find out?
He found out what heaven's like. They picked up his body the next morning. When they got word of his death, I thought of you right away.
Thanks. I'll think of you sometime.
He must have been on the trail or something, Ken. I want you to pick up that trail.
Yeah, I better start it right away.
Now, you can go by plane as far as Kuwait and take a boat from there.
Boat from Kuwait.
You know what happened to the other man. They'll be waiting for somebody else to show. So every move's got to be undercover. Everything you do's got to be secret.
Chief, I'll get right on it.
Well, wait a minute. Don't hurry that much.
Huh?
You walk into the street in that towel, nothing's going to be secret.
You have a steamship ticket for me, I believe.
Your name, monsieur?
Ken Thurston.
Mm-hmm. Oui, both tickets are here.
Oh, you made a mistake. I only ordered one ticket.
Oui, monsieur, but the other man, he said you would require another ticket.
What other man? I don't know anybody here.
Hello, Mr. Thurston.
Pegon Zellschmidt. Oh, no.
I couldn't let you embark on a dangerous mission without my unesteemed help. But the cost of finding where you were going, already you owe me money.
Oh, shut up just for a second. Did you order this ticket?
I bow to your wishes.
Well, then bow low enough to get the money out of your pocket. I won't pay for it.
But, Mr. X, you must. I gave the man your word.
What?
And when I give a man somebody's word that it's as good as his bond, this is because I'm so honorable.
Oh, well. Let's have the 2 tickets.
Oui, monsieur.
Come on now. We'll just have time to get aboard. But I'm going to charge you for that. Well,
What's the matter?
we're going to have nice company, at least if that girl over there gets aboard.
What is she except pretty?
Well, that's enough, isn't it?
But you won't like her, Mr. Thurston. She's a crook.
What's her name?
Many names, but mostly Eleanor Witzel.
Mm-hmm.
She's no good, Mr. Thurston. The kind of a woman who lives by her wits.
Well, for my money, she could keep those in reserve.
But she'd take the shirt right off your back.
Well, let's go. Time to get aboard.
Wait, Mr. Thurston. We'll run into her.
Nonsense. Now, come on. What are you so worried about it? That's the trouble.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I bumped into you.
Don't be sorry. I was going to suggest we do it again.
Hello, Pegon.
Hello.
You've lost something, Pegon.
She means your manners. You're supposed to introduce us.
That's right. I'm Eleanor Witzel.
This is Mr. Ken Thurston.
You do?
Are you going all the way to Lana Bullock too, Mr. Thurston?
Yes.
On business?
Well, I'm not so sure now. Why?
I just wondered. Business or pleasure, I don't suppose it makes any difference in the long run. Perhaps we're neighbors. I'm in cabin 327.
Well, and I'm in 326.
Oh, well, then we are neighbors. Good. We'll probably see a good deal of each other. I always think the sea makes people such good friends. Don't you think so, Mr. Thurston?
Huh? Yeah, in this case, I hope so.
I'm going to speak to the captain about this. Why, I could paddle along faster than this, Mr. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I was just leaning against the rail, having a smoke.
Having a smoke myself before going to bed. I'm Ackley, Frederick Ackley. It's British. What's your name?
Ken Thurston.
Yes. Nice to have a chat. Yes, meet somebody aboard who's civilized. My name's Frederick Ackley, or did I mention that?
Yes, you did say that.
I can't ever remember. My daughter says I'm losing my memory. She's a very rude girl. Rude girl indeed. Married a chap from Baltimore in the States. Never amount to much. Society crowd. I think his mother signs soap ads.
Are you riding on to Lana Bullock, Mr. Ackley?
Yes, have interest there. How about you, Mr. I say, you must have a name.
Yes, it's Thurston.
Oh, quite a coincidence. Once met a chap named Thurston. Name was Ken Thurston, I think.
You know, Mr. Ackley, I think your daughter was right.
Good guess. Yes, I do have a daughter. Clever of you to have hit on it, though. Married a bounder, Baltimore. Never amount to much. Society. What's your business, Mr. Thurston?
Travel, mostly. But the answer you want is oil.
In oil myself. Coincidence. In fact, I helped organize them. Acme refineries all over the East. Chairman of the board, too. Worst job I ever had.
Doesn't sound like a bad job.
I don't have it anymore. Relieved, and I feel a lot better about it.
I don't blame you. Acme's beginning to look more like a furnace than a refinery.
Yes, fires all over. Serves them right. I'm not a bit sentimental. They ought to lay hands on this fellow Blackmore.
Blackmore?
Yeah, the spy. Never saw him before, but his name's Blackmore.
Mm-hmm.
Caused a lot of trouble around the other fields. And I heard he was hanging around Lana Bullock. They should catch him and hang him up for a spy. Do him good. He'd stop spying.
The ship seems to be slowing down.
I'm not surprised. I found out something about this ship.
Well, why should we come to a stop out here?
I discovered the captain's Dutch. I want to watch out for those fellas. They have a hand with boats, submarines, and all that sort of thing. Wouldn't be surprised to see us go right underwater.
There's a small boat coming alongside. Steward!
Yes, sir?
What are we stopping for? What's wrong?
It's the doctor, sir, with some insulin. One of the ladies had an attack, so he radioed ashore.
Oh, too bad. Anybody on this deck?
Yes, sir, in the cabin next to yours, Miss Witzel.
Oh.
Hello!
Here's the ladder, sir. Right up here, Dr. Fertig.
Good. Quite a climb. People never seem to get sick in the basement. There.
She's down this way, Dr. Fertig.
Steward.
Yes, sir?
I'm going to my cabin. I'll show the doctor Miss Whitsel's space.
Oh, very good, sir. Would you like the launch held, Doctor?
No, I'll stay aboard. Ready?
Yeah, come on. Good night, Mr. Ackley.
Yes, nice to jet. Very nice indeed.
Bad hour to get you out, Doctor.
Yes, I just turned in.
You sound American.
I am.
Uh-huh. Where'd you study, if I may ask?
Fordham.
This is her cabin, 327.
Thank you.
I'm sure she'll be all right. You're a very clever doctor.
Oh, why do you say that?
Well, you must be if you got a degree at Fordham, because Fordham has no medical school. Good night, Doctor. Yeah, what is it?
I'm the ship's captain. Please open the door.
All right. I'm asleep, not dead. Just a moment.
Are you Mr. Thurston?
Unless I've been tricked. What's the matter?
I came to you because you're an American agent.
Aren't you a little nosy?
Well, at least my friends don't betray the fact.
Oh, good old Pegon. What time is it?
Past 3. I need your help, Mr. Thurston. A few minutes ago, we found a stowaway aboard, an American.
Well, if I'm mad at him, you better talk to him.
I can't. He's dead.
Well, neither can I.
I think he was murdered. We found marks on his arm from a hypodermic needle.
Well?
And he may have been strangled. His face is purple. That may mean something.
Unless he blushed a lot.
But I don't understand you.
Be right with you, Captain, as soon as I get into some clothes. Meantime, you'd better hold that doctor who came aboard for questioning.
Oh, we can't.
Well, don't tell me he's dead.
He left the ship an hour ago.
He said he was going to stay aboard.
We sent him ashore at his request. He must have changed his mind.
Or, on the other hand, Captain, maybe he didn't change his mind.
Here, Mr. Thurston.
Ah, Mr. Thurston.
Now, Pegon, what are you doing here?
I'm inspecting the corpus delictus. Here.
All right, Pegon. Where's his stuff?
On the table here.
Want it. Name William Haberman, age 39, American citizen. No money in the wallet. You think? Pegon?
Oh, no, Mr. Thurston. I wouldn't rob a dead man. Besides, he was flat broke.
Nothing to help us. Passport? No American references. Relatives? None. Oh, what's this?
You found some money?
Employed Acme Refineries, Middle East Division. Everybody belongs to the club. Captain, you better see that no one leaves the ship. When it docks in the morning, we can screen the passengers.
Yeah, I instruct the ship's officers right away.
Now, why does an obscure man die a violent death without reason or cause? A king or the head of a state? Yes, their deaths are predictable or explainable, but this...
You took the words right out of my teeth.
A man nobody ever heard of. But he must have died for a reason. Pegon, those are the important deaths, because sometimes the reason is big enough to alter boundary lines or make a star tremble. That's why it's important. Because nobody bothers to investigate. Nobody bothers to ask why.
Just a moment. Well, Mr. Thurston, you interrupted a dream. What time is it?
About 4 a.m. May I come in?
You don't mind filling in the dream? Come in. Sit down.
Thanks.
Well, what's on your mind, Mr. Thurston?
A couple of things.
One of them's about the way we met.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're right. It wasn't accidental. I wanted to meet you.
Why?
If I told you it was personal, you'd be shocked. If I didn't, you'd go hang yourself. So stop worrying, Ken. Oh, you don't mind my calling you Ken. It's much shorter than Mr. X.
Oh. Pegon has a big mouth.
Yes. Even bigger pockets. What else?
What do you know about a man named William Haberman?
He sounds dull.
He's dead.
Oh, I'm sure he's dull.
Somebody found it interesting. He was killed aboard this ship tonight, between the time your doctor arrived and left. That involves you.
Not enough to prove anything.
Someone used a hypodermic on him.
I traded mine for a rifle. Better find someone else, darling. Your first guess isn't a bad one. Maybe the doctor came aboard and killed him. Maybe I planned it that way. But you're too smart to cut out a job that big. Try it my way, darling.
Maybe I can learn. What's your way?
Give me the package Haberman was carrying, and I'll tell you who killed him.
Oh, you're as broke as I am. I don't have the package, and you don't know who killed him.
I know this much. You knew he was aboard. You knew he worked for Acme. Now, may I have the package?
I didn't know he had one.
You're too stubborn, darling. Somebody ought to cure you. They ought to cure you or kill you.
And I'll bet you could do either.
Make too much noise if I tried to kill you.
Well, I'd probably scream if you tried to cure me.
Oh, no, you wouldn't.
Well, I might delay the scream.
Then scream or relax, darling. Oh, Ken, I need your help.
I'll help you what I can.
I need that package. You can help me by giving it to me now.
You make it sound very valuable.
Do I get it, Ken?
You've got the right talent, but the wrong guy.
Suit yourself, darling. I wanted to make it easy for you.
You did?
Yes. But from now on, Mr. X, it's going to be tough.
And now to continue with Frigidaire's Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall. Investigating the mysterious blowing up of oil refineries in the Middle East, Ken Thurston hopped a ship to the port of Larnavolok. During the trip, he's run across a phony doctor and a very beautiful girl who seems to know more than she will tell, and who knows that Ken is the Man Called X. Now, still aboard the ship, we find Mr. X in the dining saloon, talking to his ubiquitous shadow, Pegon Zellschmidt, who it's obvious has a mouthful.
But, Mr. Thurston, I've got to finish my breakfast.
Your stomach can wait, Pegon. The boat's docked, and I want you to get down to the cable office for me.
And leave this oatmeal?
Send this dispatch to the London office of Acme Refineries. I need a complete dossier on one of our passengers.
Oh, all right.
Mr. Thurston.
Oh, good morning, Captain. Have you the list of passengers?
Yeah, they've all gathered on the afterdeck. The mates started rounding up people as soon as we docked.
You got them all? Well?
All except two.
Oh, you don't have to tell me who they are.
I don't understand how it happened, Mr. Thurston. I warned the mate.
Never mind. Let the rest of them go.
Mr. Thurston, I'm afraid I've bungled.
I'm afraid you have the best case of butterfingers in the Middle East. Did you radio back about Dr. Fertig?
Yeah, and you were right. The station there has no Dr. Fertig on record. But a man answering his description boarded the Kvatan Express, bound for Larnavolok.
Then he got here ahead of us. By now he's no longer Dr. Fertig.
Mr. Thurston, I can look for him. I have many friends here.
No, Pegon. You tour the town and see what you can find out about Eleanor Wetzel. Report to me at the hotel.
Where are you going?
To see what made William Haberman tick. But the trail's so cold now, I'd be lucky to find anything.
I'm sorry, Mr. Thurston. I bungled.
Yes, you bungled.
Is there anything I can do?
Would you do it, Captain? Thank you, operator. Now, how about the cablegram? No answer to the London message? No, keep it at the desk. I'll pick it up. Thanks. Well.
Go ahead. Mr. Thurston, I have much information.
Yes, Pegon.
The girl is staying at the El Mundo. It is right down the street. Good boy. But she isn't there now.
What?
She's gone. She stayed a couple of hours and then rented the car and left.
Where'd she go?
For a slight consideration, the carman said she mentioned the Dalmain Road.
What's on the Dalmain Road? Why should she go there?
I can find out.
No, thanks. I can't afford it.
But, Mr. Thurston, I'm starving to death. I'm starving by the inches.
When you get up around 3 feet, let me know.
What are we doing in this place? Who lives here?
A man named Harry Slupkin.
Is he dead?
Will you please get over the idea that everybody we go to see is dead?
Then why are we going to see him?
Haberman shared this apartment with him. I checked his record at Acme Refineries.
He's out.
Well, that's our story. Come on. May as well have a look around. No,
Mr. Thurston, you wouldn't open that drawer.
of course not. Nothing here, Pat. Well, what about this?
What kind of writing is that?
Chemical formulae. That would make Slatkin a plant chemist. And this one. Powerful explosive.
He sure has lots of dates. Very popular.
Huh?
This calendar, so many days circled.
Let me see. March 1st, March 19th, April 2nd, and the last one's today, Pegon. The dates of those explosions.
Oh.
Come on. Let's see what else is in this apartment. What's that?
Water running.
In the bathroom. Bathtub, overflowing. Oh, well, doesn't he look pretty?
Is he dead, Mr. X?
Well, if he isn't, he'd better come up for air.
He shouldn't have taken a bath. It's Vedlock. Vedlock, but who is he?
Could be Harry Slatkin.
I'll vote that way, too, Thurston.
Well, Dr. Fertig. Or have you stopped being doctor? It doesn't look like a scalpel in your hand.
The man's dead.
The girl says you killed Haberman, too.
I got to both of them too late.
That's not the way I got it from the girl. And she says you got the package Haberman was carrying.
Give me that formula, Thurston.
Formula?
Was in the desk. Give it to me. Empty your pockets.
Sure, yeah.
You. Empty your pockets. I refuse. I agree.
Too late again, eh?
Somebody got the chemical mix from Haberman. Now somebody's got the formula from Slatkin.
Why not find the girl?
Yeah.
I'll give you a push. Shoot up the Domain Road.
It's bad.
What's out there? As if I didn't know.
Don't waste a guess.
The main pipeline.
Right to the main Acme plant. It doesn't make sense, Mr. X.
Nothing makes sense, Pegon, especially Frederick Ackley. Doesn't add up. He forced the conversation to talk about a spy named Blackmore, but why?
What about the cablegram?
Description tallies all around. Age, 65, former board chairman. Let up because of fading memory, advanced age.
He was afraid of this Blackmore?
Either that or he is Blackmore. Whoop.
What's the matter?
The girl's car. There by that little shack. Come on.
I hope she didn't see our headlights.
Quiet now through this brush.
I don't see her anywhere.
Shh. With luck, she's on the other side of that shanty.
Oh. You're bad on directions, darling. I'm over here behind you.
Well, what is this, National Pistol Week? Eleanor, I want that package of chemicals.
Would I have it?
Here, at a junction with the main pipeline here. But you've blown up enough oil tanks. I want it.
Don't we all?
I'm going to take it away from you.
Stay back. Stay away, Ken. I'm the ugly type. Stay away from me.
Can't stop now, lady.
All right. Big shot. You take the gun. Here. Now you shoot somebody.
Watch out, Mr. Thurston. It's a trick.
I don't think so.
Would I be standing out here in the cold if I had that package? That or the formula means a lot of money to me.
What did your doctor friend do?
You talked to him?
He did the talking.
You told him I'm out here? Oh, darling, we've got to move fast.
Why?
I wasn't lying to you. I don't have that package. I was waiting out here to take it away from him. Now you've made it easy for him to double-cross me. He'll go to the secondary pumping station.
Then come on.
And when you talk to him, darling, you can call him Mr. Blackmore. He'll understand. Look, there he is over by the pump. There's somebody with him.
Ackley, of course.
And come on.
Well, there's no hurry now. Hello, Ackley. I see you found your man Blackmore.
Yes, deucedly obliging. He came to me. A wretched way to die, though, begging.
Where's that chemical mix?
Already in the pump line. A few minutes ago. Here. You can see better from over here. Now, over that way.
The last of the Acme propages.
Yes. I started them, built them up from nothing, and I destroyed them.
What about Haberman? Slatkin?
Those wretched people, they were made to be destroyed. They agreed to do this thing for me. I paid them well for it. But then they tried to hold me up for more, to blackmail me instead. Then the doctor and this girl tried to get in on it. tried to get hold of the chemicals for blackmail evidence of their own.
So you stole the chemicals to do it yourself?
Yes. When did you know, Thurston?
Not at first. Then I began to wonder which of you people was out of character. You were. And no recluse, and yet you insisted on a lot of conversation for no good reason. A fading memory, but you remembered trivialities.
Yes, yes.
But more than that, a motive. The others had greed. But what was greater than greed? What was a darker sin? Pride.
Yes, enough to touch one with madness, I suppose. I built these fields and they took them away from me. Said I couldn't run them anymore. Yes, pride. Such a big sin for such a small world.
The biggest of sins, actually, because it touches people in the highest places. It once caused disorder in the heavens and sent an angel sprawling into the darkness. So what could it do but touch us here below?
Frigidaire star Herbert Marshall will return in just a moment. And now Frigidaire star Herbert Marshall.
Thanks for being with us. And next week, I promise you another story filled with suspense and mystery. As usual, there'll be Leon Velasco along as Pegon Zellschmidt. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the man called X. Good night.
Frigidaire's Man Called X is directed by Jack Johnstone, with music composed and conducted by Johnny Green. So until next week, same time, same station, this is Wendell Niles speaking for Frigidaire, made only by General Motors. All characters and incidents used are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual persons or incidents is purely coincidental. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. And now Frigidaire presents Herbert Marshall as Ken Thurston, the Man Called X. To most people, mention of the bolero and the samba mean pleasant, colorful music. But to the Man Called X, listen.
The samba, Chief, I thought that was the name of a dance.
Oh, this is serious, Ken. The samba docked here in New York Harbor early this morning. But her companion ship, the bolero, has mysteriously disappeared.
Oh?
In spite of the fact they had ideal sailing conditions all the way from San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Where's the Coast Guard?
Well, their planes have scoured every inch of the route and found nothing.
Chief, what's our interest in this?
Well, in the first place, Dick Finley's an old friend of mine.
Oh, I know Dick. Insurance.
Right. And the bolero's cargo was insured by him for a flat $500,000. Finley evidently smelled a rat, a big one. That's why he called me.
But if he smelled a rat, why did he give such big coverage without complete investigation?
Well, because John Messler, owner of the bolero, used to be one of his biggest clients.
Messler Plantation.
Yeah.
The fact remains, the one man who can give us the dope on this thing is Dick Finley.
Well, he's at work on it already. Been talking with Carl Hertzberg. He's Messler's manager, and the rest of the crew of the Samba down at Pier 14. I've sent Ryan over to pick him up so you yourself can talk to him.
Sorry, Chief.
Hello, Ryan.
Yes, Ryan.
Somebody else got to Finley first.
What?
He's down at the morgue with a .45 slug through his back.
Zellschmidt Enterprises. Pegon Zellschmidt, General Manager on duty.
Pegon, what under the sun is that supposed to mean?
Oh, hello, Mr. X. I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that I am now in business for myself.
I'm overjoyed. What business?
I'm glad you asked that. I can't quite decide whether to limit myself to detective work or go in for financial consulting.
Why not just settle on organized chicanery?
Oh, that's a very good suggestion, and I'll... Huh? Don't even know what the meaning of the word.
Well, maybe it'll come to you. Now, listen, I got a job for you down at the docks.
For me? You mean you've come to me?
This has to be handled with discretion, Pegon.
Oh, Mr. Thurston, I shall regard your confidence as a sacred trust, especially for cash.
on?
Si, senor. He's just not turning into this alley.
Good. It's very dark along here. This will do very well.
Are you going?
Here, quick, step into this doorway. I'll walk on a little and stop to light a cigarette. That will let him catch up, and we'll have him between us. Hurry now.
Si, senor.
One moment, my curious friend.
Who are you? I don't know you.
Then we should become better acquainted, since you've been spying on me for 2 days.
Oh, no. I never seen you before. There must be some... Who's this?
A friend of mine?
Oh, well, I'd better be going now.
I don't think so.
A gun?
Quiet. Who are you?
Why, my name is Zellschmidt. Pegon Zellschmidt.
Zellschmidt. It always helps to know who you're dealing with in such matters as this.
Well, I'd be going now.
Mr. Zellschmidt, have you ever noticed what a final sound the slide of an automatic pistol makes?
Wait! No! Come, senor, we get away fast now. Muy pronto.
Wait, just to make sure.
Hello.
Mr. X.
Now, Pegon, why can't you wait till the morning?
But, Mr. Thurston, something terrible has happened.
What?
I've been shot. I'm dead.
I see. Where are you calling from?
New Jersey.
Oh, it must be serious. Now that you've had your fun, Pegon, hang up and let me go back to sleep.
Wait, you don't understand? I'm as good as dead right this minute. And it's all your fault.
My fault? I haven't shot anybody, at least not tonight.
But somebody did. And now my poor cousin Egan lies dead.
Egan?
He was one of my strictly distant cousins, you understand?
Pegon, what in heaven's name are you talking about?
But I've just told you, it's that job you wanted me to do.
What?
Well, I couldn't quite find the time to do it myself. You know, circumstances beyond my control, of course,
So you put your cousin Egon in it, eh? Go on.
Well, a little while ago, the police found his body, and now
Where did they find it? Anywhere close to Pier 14?
Where else? Mr. X, you've got to do something.
There's only one thing to do.
Yes, Mr. Thurston?
I want you to take a plane immediately.
Plane?
And I'll meet you 1 week from today in San Juan, Puerto Rico. How do you do?
Buenos dias, senor. You are Americano and you wish a room, no?
Matter of fact, yes. My name's Thurston. Ken Thurston.
Mr. Thurston, welcome to the Grand Palace Hotel of San Juan. Here, I have it all figured out.
What?
It comes to exactly $164.20.
What are you talking about?
That, of course, does not include the 2 bottles of aguardiente which were sent up to the room last night. They amounted to...
Now, look here. I just arrived from the States, and I'd like a room.
Oh, you already have a room. The governor's suite.
Huh?
Your manager, Mr. Thurston, he has taken care of everything. Told us all about you, too.
Oh, so that's it.
Just a moment now until I add up these 2 bottles.
You wouldn't happen to know where he might be now, this manager of mine?
Oh, he always sleeps very late. However, I can send up a boy.
Oh, no, wait a minute. It won't be necessary.
Hello, Mr. Thurston. Welcome to San Juan, which is noted for its coffee. And the senoritas are not bad either.
Well, Pegon, your rich American has arrived.
Oh, I had to use my ingenuity, but I knew you would want nothing but the best.
From the size of this bill, it looks like we've already had it.
But you have no idea how expensive things are here. Something to do with the exchange rate, I think.
Yeah, I must be terrific. Did you get my telegram?
Oh, yes, Mr. Thurston. I have it right here somewhere.
Never mind, I don't want it. Huh? What did you find out about Messler?
Well, for one thing, I found out he owns the Messler Plantation Company.
Well, I told you that in the telegram.
Well, he's very mysterious.
In what way?
Well, nobody in San Juan knows anything about him. He lives in a great big house on a plantation a few miles from town. And people don't see him for maybe months at a time.
Well, then who actually runs the business of the plantation down there?
Well, that's what you're going to find out right now. Goodbye, Mr. X.
What?
See you later.
No, Pegon, hey.
I'm afraid you're going to think me terribly forward, Mr. Thurston.
That's quite all right. Hey, Pegon. Well, yes, it's quite all right.
Thank you. That was most complimentary.
On the contrary, it was far from adequate, Miss...
Messler. My uncle owns the Messler Plantation.
Oh,
You have heard of him, perhaps?
Who hasn't? But I haven't heard that he had such a lovely niece, Miss Messler.
Oh, please call me La Reina. Everyone in San Juan does.
La Reina. The Queen. Ah. But how do you happen to know me?
Oh, you are far too modest, Mr. Thurston. Why, all San Juan has heard of you and what it is you are going to do.
Oh, am I?
I'm so excited about it. But after all, a hotel lobby is really no place to get better acquainted, is it?
Hardly.
So, won't you please come to dinner at the plantation this evening? Please say you will.
I'll be looking forward to it. And with a double reason now. You see, I've been hoping for a chance to meet the fabulous Mr. Messler.
Oh, that is too bad, because, you see, it won't be possible.
No?
No. Unfortunately, my uncle left by plane for the States 2 days ago. I hope you won't be too disappointed.
Oh, how could I be? After all, I've met you.
You are very sweet. And I promise I will do everything I can to make your visit interesting.
Come in, Mr. Thurston. How do you like our room? Not bad, eh?
Pegon, what am I supposed to be doing here in San Juan?
Doing? Oh, you know, look up Mr. Messler and try to find out what happened.
No, not that.
No? Oh, well, maybe I did talk a little too much.
No.
But everyone expected it, yes. So what could I do?
What did you do?
I think I said that you were a movie producer who was going to make a film here.
So that's why she... Well, Pegon, maybe I do owe you something after all.
Well, thank you, Mr. X.
You haven't told that to anyone?
Oh, not one soul, I swear, but the father of my father...
Now, never mind your relatives.
Oh.
What about this niece of Messler's? Does she run the plantation, the shipping, the whole business while her uncle's not around?
Not exactly. There's sort of a manager named Carl Hertzberg. Only he's not here now.
Well, where is he?
He sailed to New York on the Samba.
Oh, the sister ship to the Bolero.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that disappeared. Remember? Which reminds me, did you know that the Samba is due back here today?
Yeah, I know.
Good. Now about what you owe me, Mr. X.
Pegon, it comes to exactly $164.20. We're even.
But part of that bill is for the car.
What car?
The one I rented for you. I knew you'd want it.
It's very thoughtful of you. Yes, very thoughtful, as a matter of fact, because tonight, Pegon, I have a dinner engagement.
Good, I'll get dressed right away.
You're going to drive me there and wait outside to bring me home.
Well, wait.
Pegon, now comes your day of reckoning.
More brandy, Ken?
No, thanks. No, it's so late. I think I'd better say goodnight.
Oh.
Hope this won't be the last time.
Oh, let us say the first of many. I hope your plans keep you here a long, long time.
Perhaps they will. You know, you're an amazing person.
Really? In what way?
Well, for one thing, the way you take charge of this place in your uncle's absence.
Oh, I'm used to it. You see, when he's here, he seldom leaves the house and never has anyone in. And he's always going off on some unexpected trip. He's a strange man, Ken.
Well, he certainly throws a lot of responsibility on you.
Oh, I'm afraid you're overrating me. Actually, our manager, Mr. Hertzberg, runs things, even when my uncle is at home. So, I'm just a very ordinary girl after all.
If you're ordinary, Lorena, the world needs more mediocrity. I gotta go.
Well, I'll go to the door with you. Tomorrow morning, Ken?
Definitely.
Oh, about your movie, Ken, have you picked a star for it yet?
Matter of fact, I haven't yet.
Oh, well, please call on me if I can help in any way, anytime.
There's no one I'd rather call on for help.
Oh, Ken, I have been very lonely here until today.
Lorena.
Oh, Ken. Oh. Good night, Ken.
Good night, Lorena.
One moment, please, Mr. Thurston.
Who are you?
My name is Hertzberg. I manage this plantation.
Oh, then the Samba has docked. Congratulations, Mr. Hertzberg.
So? For what?
For having sailed on the Samba instead of the Bolero.
I didn't stop you to engage in small talk, Mr. Thurston, but rather to advise you that such scenes as the one which just occurred will not be repeated.
Your duties as manager include spying on your employer's niece?
Lorena is somewhat susceptible to charm, shall we say. I am not.
It's kind of obvious.
I'm afraid you don't understand me, nor the possible dangers of this tropical climate. It's a climate which can be quite deadly, Mr. Thurston, to someone who doesn't understand.
Really, now I like it. And you, how long have you been here?
Approximately 1 year, but I don't...
You see, you're perfectly healthy. No, Mr. Hertzberg, your argument doesn't hold water.
I see. Very well. But I think you'll find that while the climate may agree with some, it can seriously disagree with others. And until it's tested, a man's personal reaction is something of an unknown quantity. A quantity which, in algebra, might be called X. Good night, Mr. Thurston.
In a moment, we continue with Frigidaire's Man Called X, originated by J. Richard Kennedy. This is Wendell Niles speaking. And now to continue with Frigidaire's Man Called X, starring Herbert Marshall. Mr. X has gone to San Juan, Puerto Rico, to look up a certain Mr. Messler, who owned a mysteriously missing freight ship, the Bolero. So far, Mr. X has found neither Messler nor the Bolero, but he did have dinner last night with Messler's niece, the beautiful Lorena. But now it's the next morning, and while Pegon cheerfully carries out his assignment of scouting the local bars for local gossip, Ken sits in the office of the bank talking to the manager.
And so, as you can see on the map, Senor Thurston, almost all of the plantation lands which may be available for purchase lie to the south of the city, along the main highway.
Well, I had more in mind the purchase of a plantation north of town, possibly along the lake shore.
Oh, unfortunately, that's impossible. A few months ago, yes, but not now.
Why a few months ago?
Because at that time, the Messler plantation still had several lakefront tracts they were offering for sale, but they're taken now.
You mean Mester's been selling off his land?
Oh, the major portion of his holdings during the past year.
Why?
Senor Thurston, I stopped long ago trying to explain that old gentleman's reasons for anything.
You know him well?
Oh, I believe I've seen him only 4 times in all the years the bank has dealt with him. You might say that my familiarity with Senor Messler applies more to his signature than his face.
I see. Well, thanks for your trouble, sir.
Oh, not at all. Would you care to have lunch with me?
Maybe another time. I've accepted an invitation to go horseback riding this morning.
In that case, I hope you find your ride enjoyable.
Thanks. I have an idea I shall find it quite enjoyable.
Oh, Ken, let me catch my breath.
Yeah, mine's gone, too. Hey, you handled that horse beautifully, Lorena.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know when I've ridden like that. Oh, I'm glad we stopped here. Isn't this a lovely view of the lake?
Beautiful. You get the impression you're on a tropic island.
We're not, though. It's really no more than a few 100 feet to the house.
Now, what's that long, sort of low building over there through the underbrush?
Where? Oh, one of the warehouses.
Well, why the man on guard with a rifle?
Oh, that's Carl Hertzberg's idea. Some of the workmen were stealing things.
Hertzberg seems to be quite the little watchdog. How much do you know about him?
Hardly anything. My uncle hired him when the last manager left suddenly.
Where did he come from? What did he do before?
I don't know. I think he mentioned being a watchmaker at one time.
Watchmaker?
You know, I've been a little afraid of him. In fact, I've been afraid a good part of the year I've lived here. I've been alone so much, for one thing.
You're not alone now.
I know. And I'm not afraid now. Come on, Ken. I'll race you down to the boat landing. Come on, boy.
Hello, Mr. Thurston.
Pegon, I begun to wonder where you were.
It's been very tiring work running about all day from this bar to that bar to that bar.
Looks like it. You find out anything about Hertzberg for me?
Not a thing. The man is an enigmatical sphinx.
Tell me, did you talk to any of the Samba's crew?
That I did not do. My cousin Egan, may he rest in peace, tried that thing in New York.
Oh, I know. Yes, that's right. But local gossip has it that you've confined most of your questioning to a little number named Rosita. Is that right?
Mr. Thurston, she's strictly business of the expense account type. I have found Rosita to be a bottomless well of information. Strictly business.
Pegon, you're slipping. Now, listen. You better rest up from your tiring day because tonight we're going to have a try at breaking into a warehouse, and it's guarded.
Good. Why are we going to do it?
Well, for one thing, I've always resented no visitors signs. What's more, we may find Mr. Messler there. Or what's left of him.
Mr. Messler flew to the States 3 days ago. Why, the senorita said so.
Messler must have been having a little joke with her, Pegon. According to the passenger list at the airport, he hasn't taken a plane out of here. Pegon.
Over here.
Pegon.
Over here by the door, Mr. Thurston.
How's the guard, Pegon? Still out cold?
Like a fish.
Good. You haven't heard anyone outside?
Only the crickets. Did you find Mr. Messler?
Yeah.
Where is he? I mean...
I'll tell you later, Pegon. We haven't got much time. Come on now. Try not to fall over anything in the dark. One more thing I'd like to find, and I think it may be here in the warehouse. Wait a second. Steel door.
A door? Is it locked?
I can't find it. No, it isn't. Let's have a look. Easy now. Watch your step.
Some kind of a little room. Empty, maybe.
Maybe empty now, but... No, it isn't. Still several cases here.
What's in there, Mr. Thurston? Wait a minute. I'll strike a match.
You'll do, and you'll find yourself wearing a halo. Those are cases of dynamite.
The dynamite? No, Mr. Thurston, we'll go now, right now. We'll go,
Not yet.
What?
I have a gun here that says neither one of you is going anywhere.
Well, Mr. Hertzberg, so the little watchdog is still on duty.
Unfortunately for you, Thurston, it's too bad you didn't take my advice and leave this unhealthy climate.
Leaving Puerto Rico didn't help the 21 seamen on the Bolero very much.
Oh, so you found the answer to that.
Look, dynamite, a missing ship, a watchmaker who could easily rig up an efficient time-detonating device. All makes the problem rather simple.
Quite so. Now, will you be kind enough to toss your gun over toward the door, Thurston?
Sorry, I'm afraid I can't. You see, I don't have a gun.
Fine. In that case...
In that case, just think of what will happen if you fire toward these cases of dynamite.
So, we seem to reach a temporary stalemate.
Well, that's your move, Hertzberg.
I think I'll postpone it for the moment, at least until I go liquidate a gold mine. However, just to make sure I can still find you here. There. Amuse yourselves, gentlemen. I won't be gone long.
Phew. I have just died 1,000,000 times, Mr. Thurston. But what did he mean? What's he going to do?
You have an idea?
Mr. Thurston, we've got to get out of here. He's going to come back. We can't just...
Now, quiet.
Somebody's out there.
Ken.
Lorena.
Then you expected her?
Hardly. In here, Lorena.
Oh, Ken, I have found you. You're all right.
Fine. How did you happen to come here?
It's Carl. I followed him. Oh, Ken, he's done something terrible. I don't know what. I even think my uncle may be held prisoner here instead of being in the States. He was... What was that?
Yes, Lorena. Mr. Messler was being held prisoner.
Then Carl's killed him. And now he'll come back here and kill us. Ken, you've got to do something quick.
What would you suggest?
You have a gun?
Nope.
I brought one here. When he comes back here, you must shoot first. It's our only chance.
Lorena the Queen.
What?
And with me cast as chief executioner in the double cross of her partner. There'll be no splitting of the spoils.
I don't know what you mean.
No, you told me your uncle took a plane to the States 3 days ago.
Well, that's what Carl said. He said he took him to the airport.
Oh, it isn't very flattering to be regarded as a complete fool.
What are you saying?
Lorena, 3 days ago, Carl was on board the Samba, 500 miles at sea.
You...
Somebody's coming, Mr. Thurston.
Yeah, here.
Look out, Carl. Mr. X has a gun. Carl! No.
I doubt very much that Carl will be able to hear you, Lorena.
You...
My thanks for the loan of your gun, Mr. Thurston. It came in very handy, just as you thought it might.
Who are you?
Permit me to introduce myself. I am John Messler.
Mr. X, I'm beginning to see the light.
Sure. Mister's habit of seldom showing his face outside his house was well known. So it was easy for them to hold him prisoner in the cellar of that warehouse for nearly a year, starving him, forcing him to sign the deeds and checks necessary to convert the estate into cash.
Mr. Thurston, it has all become as clear to me as...
As this wine?
Yes, please, just a little more. Thank you. And Lorena, she's not Mr. Messler's niece?
Just an enterprising lady who teamed up with Carl Hertzberg and came here about a year ago.
Ah, women. They're fleas in a life's ointment.
I say it's a pretty thirsty flea you've had on the expense account for the past week.
Rosita? Strictly an ex-business acquaintance.
Since when?
Well, since I discovered a horrible fact, Mr. Thurston. I found Rosita cared only for my money. Which is to say, your money, of course.
There's a nice distinction running around there.
Money. Nothing. It's, after all, what is it? Just money. It means nothing at all to me.
This wine is wonderful stuff. I'll have to take some along just for financial purposes.
There's one thing that is not quite clear to me yet. Why did they want to sink their own boat? That seems very silly.
For the insurance, Pegon.
Oh.
The Bolero was heavily insured. That's why the Bureau first became interested in her disappearance. Of course, to a man like you, to whom money means nothing, $500,000 would seem silly.
And now, Frigidaire's star, Herbert Marshall.
Thanks for being with us. And please let me remind you that daylight saving time goes into effect in some parts of the country next week. So if your area remains on standard time, tune in 1 hour earlier for our broadcast. As usual, Leon Belasco will be along as Pegon Zellschmidt. So join us, won't you, when next I return as the man called X. Good night.
Frigidaire's Man Called X is directed by Jack Johnstone, with music composed and conducted by Johnny Green. Tonight's story was written by Les Crutchfield. All characters and incidents used on this program are fictitious. Any resemblance to actual persons or incidents is purely coincidental. When you read about people being injured, people being killed in traffic accidents, do you ever stop to think, why, that might have happened to me? It's worth thinking about, and it's worth doing something about. The best thing to do is to obey all traffic laws. Yes, whenever you drive, whenever you walk along streets or highways, be careful. The life you save may be your own. This is Wendell Niles speaking for Frigidaire, made only by General Motors. Remember, if your community remains on standard time, tune in 1 hour earlier next week for Frigidaire's Man Called X. CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.